film this because my phone decided to delete the first version of this that I did, which is very annoying. So anyway, hi, welcome to a video. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reading this comic that I made in 7th grade of a character, Fireboy. Yes, I know the name is cringy, but what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to read this, and I'm going to be redrawing the cover. So let's get right in. Once upon a time, this happened. I'm just taking a stroll, and up in space there's a uranium asteroid. I'm just taking a stroll, and then bam, it hits the ground. And then he's like, owie, that hurt. And then 3 years later, there's an old lady, she screams help, and then she screams help again. And then he says, yikes, and he bursts into fire, and he says, let's go. And he's already in a superhero costume. And then he asks the nice old lady, she's like, what do you need help with? And the nice old lady is like, my chinchilla, he won't come down. Because my art skills are incredible, and that's supposed to be a cat that looks like a chinchilla, so it's a chinchilla. And then he's like, I got this. And then the old lady says his name is Jeff. And then he's like, come here, Jeff. And then Visho, what do you know? It's a portal. That's a Visho there. That's the sound of a portal being opened. Keep that in mind. And then he says, excuse me, old lady. And he's like, who you calling old? And then she takes her head off. She spins around in a circle. And it turns out she wasn't an old lady. She's actually Magic Lady. Who would have suspected that? Totally not me. Totally not me. Even though I'm the person, I did not expect that. Whoa. Be shocked with me for a second. Actually, I'm just kidding. I knew that was going to happen. And he's so confused because he's never heard of her before. He's like, who? And then she gets mad, uses her magical powers to break a tree limb off and hit him in the back of the head with it. And then this, who opens his eyes, this is later. And he's strapped to a whatever. And the evil magic lady is like, good, you're awake. And he's like, gah. And he wants to know what she wants with him. And he's like, the magic lady's like, I want you to compete in the Tournament of Heroes. Ha! Tournament of Heroes is something evil that she wants to make happen. And she's like, you'd be fighting Swordman. I'll get more into who that is later. And then he's like, grr, I have to escape, concentrate, I have to make myself hot enough to melt metal. Boom, he catches himself on fire. Because he's Human Torch, pretty much. That's exactly pretty much who he is, except he's wimpier. And he's like, I'm free! It only took him 5 minutes. And elsewhere, I need you to beat up Fireboy. Yes, ma'am. And then, wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo. And then Fireboy has apparently escaped. Who would have guessed? Totally not you. And then this guy, Swordman, is like, I will go terminate him. Yes, he is a good guy. I'll explain why he's hypnotized or whatever there. Oh, I spoiled it. He's hypnotized. And then he's like, I gotta get out of here. And then halt. Oh, of course, because if someone says halt and you're in an evil villain's fortress, you're gonna halt. And then fire burst. And then he blocks it. Oh no, I forgot about that. Actually says this. Then Swordman swings his sword around and releases a little blobby man. Actually, it's not a little blobby thing. It's a energy thing. That's exactly what it is. And then Fireboy blocks it with his fire and goes poof, and they screams help twice like a wimp, and Matt gives away his location. Then she's like, I need him to be in the tournament. She says the tournament like everybody knows exactly what she's talking about. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, halt! It's that halt again. He punches Swordman in the back of the head. He's like, it's cookie time. That's what he says. And then he's like, get punched, Hypno Swordman. It's Hypno Swordman because he got hypnotized. And then this guy here says, come with me if you want to not die. You see the Lego Movie reference in there? Yeah, if you don't see it, go watch the Lego Movie. And then he's like, whoa, okay. And then that guy's like, you ready? I'll remove the wall. And then kablamo, he explodes it. Yes, it's supposed to be explode, not explode. And then they run out of a hole in the wall. And then Magic Lady there wants Swordman to go get him. And then he's like, huzzah! And flies out of the hole in the wall. He's like, there. and Neom, wham, clang, wada bam, bada bink, bop, boop, pow. And then he's like, "Who are you?" That isn't necessary. Then what should I call you? Nameless. Because he has to be edgy. And then Swordman gets back up because he's a superhero. And he's like, that nameless guy's like, that punch should have knocked him out. He's so confused. And then Fireboy's like, I'll go from behind. Yo, Swordman. And then Fireboy's on fire. And then they do that. And then he fire punches him in the back of the head. And then Fireboy's like, there we go. That's been taken care of. And then that nameless kid is like, now what? And then Magic Lady's like, you joined the tournament. And then she presses a button. They get snapped up in a magical net, and ha 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 ha. The speed art portion. Oh, you can see that. That's spoilers of what that'll look like. Now it's time for the speed art portion. So yeah, you enjoy. So the comic I just read was Fireboy #1, series that I made in 7th grade. I know his name is cringy. Don't worry about it. So I'm gonna break down the 3 characters in it: Magic Lady, Fireboy, and then the nameless character. So Fireboy, who is the guy on the front who will be wearing the orange, he's pretty much Human Torch. That's the best way to describe him. He's human Marvel's Human Torch, but my version-ified of him with a different name. And he works different, kind of. And he's a winter. That's, yeah. And then Magic Lady, she's the lady in the gray, as you will see. She's a villain. Her thing is she just magic. That's pretty much it with her. And then the nameless guy, the dude with the spiky hair and all the yellow, as you will see when I color it. He's a little different. He's got super strength, can make things blow up, and he's invulnerable. Yeah, he's that overpowered. The only downside with all those abilities that he has is he glows in the dark. Here's the finished product. I don't know. Yeah. So here's the old, and here's the new one. This one I'm gonna scan into a computer and like recolor it and stuff. So that's why I wrote blue everywhere. I'm gonna retrace it, everything on the computer. So yeah, let me know what you think of this video. Definitely isn't the last one like this. So I have a whole 7 of this series, and then I have a whole bunch of other comics to read and redraw the covers of maybe. So yeah, if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe. So yeah, that's it for me.